you doing here? You are not allowed in the warehouses. You better leave if you don't want me to call the guard.
We've come to see you because we know you have to testify against us. The head guard told us where to find you.
Yeah? So what? What do you want?
You lied, and you know it. You weren't there when the attack took place. So let me give you a piece of advice. Take the first ship off this island and forget all about your false testimony.
Why would I do that?
We killed a group of well-trained Alliance men, and many more before them. Do you really think you stand a chance against us?
No, of course not. There's a ship leaving tonight. I'll be aboard. Just leave me alone, please.
If it weren't for this corrupt man's shameless lies, we'd have no trouble obtaining justice and freeing Alvida.
Fair winds.
Are you lost? Do you need directions?
We're delivering food to this house. The tavern keeper sent us.
He usually makes his own deliveries. What's up with him?
He asked us to lend him a hand. He said he had too much work to leave his counter.
No. We've been trying to persuade him to hire some help for months. Okay, go ahead. Just leave it all in the hallway. The clerks will take care of the rest.
These are the emissary's notes. They were used to prepare for a trial. The identity and location of the witness we met are in here. There's a report here that the emissary hasn't yet sent, as well as a few letters. I should take the time to read them carefully. The emissary mentioned some business she had someplace inland. We should try to find out precisely where. Ugh, I can't do it. Be quiet. We don't want to be overheard. Look out! Guards! This is some sort of contract between the emissary and Duarte, the false witness. It's all very clear. She paid him to alert the head guard and to tell him he'd seen us attacking the others. There's even a bonus fee for going to trial. There's also a note, undoubtedly for a future report. It explains the entire plan. I should read it in more detail. This could turn the tables at the trial. My armor is broken!
Careful, darling! You look dreadful!
There you are. Any news? Preparations are underway on my side, but without your help, I'll have trouble defending you.
I don't know anything about your justice system. What will happen during the trial?
Everything takes place in the Admiral's Council Chamber, which you've already visited. The prosecution, represented by the Alliance's emissary, will present their evidence and their witnesses. We'll be able to cross-examine them, of course, and I'll follow your instructions. Then we'll present our own evidence and witnesses, so all you have to do is tell me who to call and what to present. The witnesses and evidence will be cross-examined by the emissary, who will do everything in her power to find weaknesses in them. Finally, the Council will present its decision, which will hopefully be in our favor.
What are the consequences if we lose?
As a rule, we don't sentence foreigners to death. It would be too risky since we are too dependent on our wealthy clients. But since you're accused of murder, you could end up in jail for a long time, or banished from Yuxantis for life if you're lucky. For Alvida, things are a little different. Although it's rare for a Naut to be sentenced to death for the murder of a foreigner. But if we lose, she'll lose everything. Her rank, her freedom. I hope it doesn't come to that.
We found 2 witnesses who could vouch for us. The ink mistress, who heard the scene though she couldn't see it, and the carpenter who witnessed the whole thing. However, the carpenter warned us that his word would carry little weight.
What can the ink mistress report?
That she heard one of the men from the Bridge Alliance insult us before the attack.
So that contradicts the idea that this was an unwarranted attack. But it doesn't justify murder. And this carpenter...
He witnessed the whole thing and can confirm our innocence. But he told us that his testimony wouldn't help us.
I know who you're talking about, and he's not wrong. His past actions mean he's hardly credible. And his support for Alvida could easily be called into question. So if I were you, I'd think twice before putting him on the stand. It would be better to find other evidence or find the prosecution's infamous witness before going to trial.
We've spoken to the prosecution's witness, who won't be testifying at the trial.
Excellent. I hope you didn't use any underhanded methods that could backfire. But this will give you a much better chance at clearing your names, as the emissary will have nothing to back up her accusations. The whole affair seems suspicious, but the witness's reversal makes me think there's more to it than that. Some dark plot whose inner workings we may never understand.
We discovered that the emissary has a hideout outside the city where she carried out business deals. She had documents there proving beyond doubt that she was behind the whole thing.
I suspected as much. But why would she do that?
So that the Nords would have no sympathy for my people. That they would think we are savages, and would have no second thoughts about participating in our destruction.
It's horrifying, and I'm furious at the idea that someone could have tried to manipulate our people in this way. This emissary won't get away with it, I promise.
We think we're ready for the trial.
I think we have more than enough to clear you. Remember to give me all the documents I'll need to show, as well as the names of the witnesses, and we can go. Don't forget that during the trial, it will be up to you to tell me who to call and what to share.
Defendants, take your seats. The trial is about to begin. We are gathered here before Admirals Cabral and Barcelos. I shall be representing the inhabitants of this island. Our aim is to clarify the events that took place in front of the Ink Mistress's workshop, which led to the deaths of several of the Bridge Alliance emissaries' escorts. The emissary will represent the prosecution. Is the emissary here and ready to present her arguments?
I am. And I will prove, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that these savages murdered my escort and brought chaos to this island.
The defendants are Captain Alvida and the group of foreigners who are her guests. They are represented by the master of the shipyard.
We are also ready.
Very well. The prosecution has the floor.
Your honors, Nords, I come here to seek justice for the lives of my men who were murdered on your streets. And I will prove to you that these savages are the killers.
Please explain how your men ended up in this part of town, when they were supposed to be part of your escort.
I'd given them the afternoon off, so I assume they were sightseeing. That's when they were attacked by these islanders and their companions.
Why would they do that?
Because they're savages. Ever since my people first set foot on Tir Fredi, we witnessed nothing but savagery. They constantly reject any form of progress. They kill people, massacre them if need be, and then pass themselves off as victims. They lure far more sophisticated people into their nets and make them pay for their crimes. Which explains why these eminent representatives of other peoples from the continent, as well as Captain Alvida, are here.
This whole speech sounds like an indictment, but you haven't provided any evidence.
This is true. Do you have any evidence or witnesses to call?
I do. I call Longshoreman Duarte to the stand.
Well, where is your witness, emissary?
I don't have the slightest idea.
You're wasting our time, emissary. Do you have any other witnesses?
I'll call the head guard.
The head guard didn't show up until after the fight.
Don't worry. We can cross-examine him if you wish.
Very well. Can you tell us what you witnessed that day?
We were on patrol in the neighborhood, and a longshoreman came to tell us that some savages had attacked a group of Alliance foreigners. We got there as quickly as we could, but by the time we arrived, the savages were putting away their weapons and the others were lying dead on the ground.
Is there any way they could have just been passing by and had drawn their weapons to assist my men?
No, they were covered in the men's blood, and we saw them finish off the last one as we approached. I'm sorry. I wish we'd gotten there sooner. We could have saved your men.
You did your duty. What could you have possibly done in the face of such savagery? What happened next?
We wanted to arrest them, but the master of the shipyard intervened and reminded us that we could only arrest the captain.
A law that's difficult to swallow when it's obvious that the ones it benefits are the true culprits, and the innocent must shoulder the burden of their crimes.
In the context of this court, you will abstain from criticizing our laws, emissary.
Of course, forgive me. I have no further questions for this witness.
Does the defense wish to question the witness?
Ask him if he can confirm who started the attack.
According to your own testimony, you did not witness the attack, yet you arrested the captain.
Well, those men have been killed, and it was obvious that the captain and her friends were responsible for their deaths.
Really? Would the scene you discovered have been different if these people were the victims of a vicious attack and were only defending themselves?
I suppose the scene would have been the same, yes. But the longshoreman.
Since the longshoreman isn't here, what he told you can't be trusted. What was the first thing the defendants said to you when you tried to arrest them?
They were only defending themselves.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Now that the prosecution has presented its evidence and witnesses, it's time for the defense to present its case.
It's our turn now. What would you like us to present first? I call the Ink Mistress to the stand. Can you tell us what happened during the attack in front of your workshop?
I was inside my workshop at the time of the attack, and unfortunately, I didn't see the fight.
That's a very useful testimony.
The prosecution will refrain from commenting until the floor is opened. Continue, mistress.
I didn't see anything, but I did hear what happened. I clearly heard someone shouting something before the fighting started.
Can you tell us what was shouted?
Not entirely, but I distinctly heard the words savage and traitor.
It was the native who was shouting as she threw herself at my men.
No, I didn't recognize the voice. It wasn't any of the defendants. It was a different voice. What's more, I'd like to add that the defendants were thoughtful, not the savages they've been made out to be.
Thank you, Mistress. It seems clear that the attack was preceded by insults that were proffered by the emissary's men. This contradicts her version of the events.
I don't believe a word of it.
Madam, we have tolerated your repeated interruptions, despite our requests to respect the protocol. But we will not tolerate you questioning the word of an eminent figure on our island. Does the prosecution have any questions for this witness?
No, I have no questions for the venerable mistress.
Would you like to call Silvio the carpenter to testify?
I'm not sure it's a good idea, but I'll let you decide.
I don't know this island well enough. So, I'll take Alvida's advice. We'd better not call him to the stand.
Although his testimony is the most complete, I agree with you.
Does the defense have any other witnesses to call?
I was thinking of calling Alvida to the stand. You were all witnesses, but her word carries more weight here than yours. What do you think?
Call Alvida. She can testify for us all.
I'm more than willing to answer your questions, and those of this snake.
I call the defendant, Captain Alvida to the stand. Can you introduce yourself and tell us what happened that day, in your own words?
My name is Captain Alvida. I had just received my new ink when it happened.
Can you remind the court of what you did to earn this new rank?
I sailed from the coast of Tynea to Yaxantis in a fisherman's skiff.
A true feat. Please continue.
We barely set foot outside the ink mistress's shop when a group of Alliance men approached. One of them shouted at us that we were savages and traitors to our people, and that they were going to show us our true place. Then they attacked us. Fortunately, we were able to defeat them. It was only then that the head guard arrived. He wanted to arrest everyone, and you stopped him. So, I was the only one who was taken to jail, since my friends here were my guests.
Thank you, Captain. I have no further questions.
Does the prosecution have any questions for this witness?
Of course. Captain, are you sure your savage friend here didn't attack my men before you had time to see it? You wouldn't be the first person to trust in these animals and be betrayed by them.
I'm absolutely certain that the events took place just as I described them. And please don't compare my friend to an animal.
Then how do you explain that a Naut longshoreman alerted the head guard and pointed you out as the attackers?
The only explanation is that he was lying.
And who's to say you're not the one who's lying? Your hands are red with the blood of my men.
Emissary, please control yourself. If you show disrespect to the witness again, we will put an end to this trial immediately.
Please, forgive me. I have no further questions.
Master, we have no further witnesses.
We shall now proceed to show our evidence.
We would now like to present some evidence that has come to light in the course of our investigation.
Evidence? Evidence of what?
Emissary, the defense has the floor. Please allow the master of the shipyard to present his case.
I have here a document signed by this very emissary, which mentions an agreement with a certain Duarte, who works as a longshoreman. The document states that this man is to alert the head guard that an attack is taking place against the Alliance's men. It also states that he will have to testify before this court and specifically identify the natives from Tir Fredi as being behind the attack. The reward for this service is a very substantial sum of money.
It must be a forgery. A forgery created by the defendants to escape a fair punishment.
As our master librarian is a handwriting specialist, I suggest that he examine this contract and give us his expert opinion on the matter.
I will look into this during the deliberations. Have you found any other evidence?
We would like to present this report, which was found in a hideout, where this very emissary was participating in suspicious activities.
How dare you? What kind of scandalous accusation is that?
Explain yourself, master of the shipyard. It is highly unusual to describe the person representing the prosecution in this manner.
How else can I describe the activities that required the emissary to travel to an obscure cabin in the inland territory? Not to mention the fact that this report describes these activities in great detail.
Lies, lies, and more lies. An outrageous forgery.
Let the defense continue.
The emissary and her men were obviously making deals with some of our more law-averse Nauts to smuggle contraband.
For shame. Master, I'm counting on you to give us these documents so that we can find the culprits.
Yes. We won't let a few bad apples spoil the guild's reputation.
And just how did you find this obviously forged report?
You may ask your questions when the defense has finished. Carry on, master of the shipyard.
In addition to the highly instructive explanations of their smuggling activities, these documents also include a very important element that is of interest in these proceedings. The attack is clearly planned out in detail. The head guard was to be alerted as soon as it took place. If the Alliance men were able to kill the natives, the captain and her companions, then the testimony of the longshoreman and the head guard was to have cleared them of any suspicion. If not, well, we've all seen how the rest of the plan was to play out.
Nonsense! This is unacceptable!
Why would the emissary have planned such a dire scheme that would surely put the lives of her men at risk?
The report is very clear on this point. The aim was to decidedly tarnish the natives' reputation in our eyes. Some are starting to raise their voices here against what's happening in Tir Freddy, especially concerning the deportation of the natives. If we all thought the natives were savages and beasts, we'd have fewer scruples about dealing with them, wouldn't we?
That's exactly what they are!
That's
Animals.
enough, ma'am! How dare you!
We will study this report carefully. And if it proves to be true, you'll be the one to answer for it.
Master, do you have any further evidence to submit?
No, we have nothing further to present to the court.
We have nothing more to add.
The defense has presented all of its evidence, and will now defer to the council's judgment.
In that case, we will now take leave to deliberate.
Can't I plead my case?
If you were hoping to make a case for your ideas, you should know that's not how things work around here. The witnesses and the evidence are presented, and anyone can examine and refute them, but the final decision is the council's. We'll return once a unanimous decision has been made. The council has come to a decision, and I'll let Admiral Cabral announce the verdict.
Given the evidence that was presented, we have come to the conclusion that the defendants are innocent.
This is a travesty!
Silence. We don't have enough evidence to prove your responsibility in this tragic affair. However, we shall keep a close eye on you from now on, so you'll have a Nort escort with you at all times. I advise you to finish your business here quickly and return to Tynea as soon as possible. And don't even think about troubling our exonerated guests again.
The council has ruled, and the court is adjourned.
You're free, and may do as you please until you're ready to board your ship, Captain. Despite the trial, I've had the shipyard working on it, and it'll be ready to sail with the tide tomorrow.
Captain, I know what you think of me, what everyone thinks of me. But could I have a word with you?
What is it?
I hear you're looking for your mother's logbook. I know where it is.
Is that so? How could you possibly know that?
I'll tell you when the time comes, but not here. Meet me at the tavern when you're done.
I don't trust you, Silvio, but I'll come. It would be wrong not to hear you out at least once. Oh, thank you. Thank you for getting me out of there. I'm sorry that even here, you've once again been victim to the Alliance's evil schemes. But I'll get you home. I swore I would do it, and I shall. Tomorrow, we'll have a ship. And even if I can't take you to Tier 4D straight away, it's a first step.
Why do we not leave now? You say you want to take us home, but in the next breath, you tell us we have to wait.
Because this kind of expedition is incredibly expensive. Sailing to Tier 4D takes months and costs a fortune. You're going to need a protector. A patron. But don't look at me. I don't have a coin to my name. My family does, though.
I know someone who wants to go home, too.
Not in the least. I'm very happy to be here with you. You're far less dangerous than my uncle.
We can choose our destination once we're aboard the ship. In the meantime, we can take a break at the tavern or go for a walk. Anything you like. As long as there are no bars on the windows.
Wait. I'm sorry. I overheard your conversation. I'd like to accompany you. Even if I have to wait, I'd like to go to Tier 4D with you.
There are enough of your people on our island already.
And you can surely find another ship. The Alliance regularly funds crossings to Hikmet.
That's true. I could probably find backing for a map-making mission, but I'd have to make compromises I'm not willing to make with people I despise. Please, let me prove that not all of my people are manipulators and forces of destruction.
She did warn us and helped us with the framing, and having an ally in the Alliance could be useful.
The best I can do is to offer to let you come aboard my ship. Whether or not you can be a part of our group is a decision that's for the others to make. So, thank you for coming. Silvio was just going to tell me where he thinks I might find my mother's logbook.
Tomorrow, you'll be given a ship. Your mother's ship, to be precise.
But I thought it was lost in the storm.
Lost? No. But it did suffer tremendous damage. It's been recovered and repaired. As you know, I was the shipwright working on her ship. Before her accident, your mother asked me to build her a cache. A cache in her cabin. Just big enough to hold a logbook. If her logbook still exists, it must be there.
Why did you come to find Alvida now? Why didn't you tell her about this earlier?
The trial undoubtedly roused his remorse.
It has nothing to do with the trial. Even if I would have liked to have had a louder voice to help save you from this masquerade. If I've come now, it's because you are going to take possession of the Constancia. You, on your mother's ship. It's too good an opportunity to miss. For I know that the captain's logbook will prove my innocence.
What do you know of Alvida's mother's fate?
Unfortunately, everyone knows what happened and who is responsible.
I have always worked my hardest on all the ships I was assigned to, and I would never have let your mother, for whom I had great respect, go to sea on a dangerous ship. I don't know what happened. There weren't many survivors, and I never had the chance to talk to them. According to the official report, the weakened ship was unable to weather the storm, and for that reason it ran aground not far from the island, resulting in the death of the captain and some of her crew. But I know That's impossible.
Didn't you lose your position because of what happened to the Constantia?
Indeed. Admiral Barcelos found me guilty of what had happened to the captain. I think he even suspects me of having done it on purpose. But since there was no real evidence against me, they just banned me from working on ships.
Thank you for answering our questions.
I still don't trust you, Silvio. But I'll check the cabin on the Constantia once we're on board.
I sincerely hope that the logbook is still there. Because then everyone will see that I was falsely accused. I'll go back to my workshop now. Thank you for listening.
I wanted to tell you how sorry I am about what happened to your friend Shada. Losing her must have been terrible. You were close, and she died in such an unfair, cruel way. I am so sorry for your loss. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'd be very happy to listen.
What were you doing on the ship that kidnapped us if you didn't approve of their actions?
When you're a common sailor, you can't choose which ship you embark on. And you can't choose your missions or what you're transporting. Like most Knots, I disapprove of carrying forced passengers. And believe me, I said just that to my captain at the time. But alas, he's the kind of person who puts profit above conscience, enriching the guild rather than adhering to its original spirit. I'll do my best to redeem my people and convince them to stop the trafficking.
Have you and Sybil known each other for a long time?
We met a few years ago, when I was a deckhand on the ship that brought her to Alima. We hit it off right away. And we saw each other several times while she was working. We became friends. And when I was looking for a way to get you out of jail, she was the first person who came to mind. She's resourceful, but also funny. You should see her impression of her uncle. She's incredible.
I had no idea there were so many natives of my island on this continent. Did you know?
I suspected as much. I know the ship I served on is far from the only one transporting your people. Transporting. Kidnapping would be more accurate, wouldn't it? However, I would never have imagined that our crimes were so great. And that we'd brought so many here. It shames and angers me. I'm so dreadfully sorry that our guild is involved in this.
What can you tell me about Yuxantis?
Our island is quite far from the mainland. Its land is poor, and its waters are terribly dangerous. Also, the people who live there have always been exceptional fishermen and sailors. Their survival depended on it. This talent made them useful to the mainlanders, and one day the sailors decided to unite into a guild. And the Knots quickly became not only sailors, but also shipbuilders. We build the ships, weave the sails, and braid the ropes on our island. Nowadays, not all Yuxantians are sailors, but they all still depend on the wealth of our guild. And for those who sail the seas, it's a home port, their only true home beyond the waves.
You must be very proud to have been named captain.
Oh, of course. And I'm all the more proud that I got my new rank as a result of an achievement. That's not always the case, you know. Sometimes the only thing that counts is your length of service. But this rank offers me such an opportunity. I'll finally be able to make my voice heard on things that are important to me. Maybe I'll be able to convince the guild to stop its involvement in human trafficking. In any case, I'll do everything in my power to make that happen.
I won't bother.
See you.
keep this up, I'll end up becoming a real specialist in escaping prison by any means possible. That being said, I'm really glad that we got my dear Alvida out of this jail.
Let's talk always.
What do you want?
Why did the Alliance invade Tiafredi? You have your own country.
That's a good question. Although I'm not sure you'll like my answer. There are resources on your island that we don't have, or no longer have, because we've exhausted them, and that we need to prosper. Your people don't exploit the land as we do, and you have vast spaces that still seem wild. But we like to domesticate nature, to enslave it as much as possible in order to build, to expand, to dominate other peoples. Our country is slowly dying, even though you may not have realized it yet. So my people are looking for new lands, and with them, a new future in a way.
But they do it at the expense of my people. Tiafredi is not uninhabited.
It's true. But our technology is superior to yours, and my people are counting on that fact to get the better of you. Most of them think they're giving you a gift by doing so. They think they will bring you civilization. I'm sorry, I know that's not a pleasant answer to hear, but that's what most of them think.
What does your job consist of?
I draw up maps. That is to say that I reconstruct on paper the reality of the world. As much as possible, of course. I go to different places and take measurements. I indicate where the mountains and forests, the rivers and springs are. Cities, villages, and roads too. In short, everything that can be useful to travelers.
And to armies.
That's true. Although I prefer to think that I only help merchants, pilgrims, and explorers. Every coin has two sides, and my work is no exception to the rule.
What brought you to Yuxantis? Just the librarian's invitation?
That's already an excellent reason, you know. That man is a font of knowledge. Exchanging with him is a real opportunity. But you're right. It wasn't the only reason. Yuxantis is very little known to people on the mainland. Nauts guard their island jealously and rarely invite foreigners to their guild. They resemble us in many ways, especially since many youngsters of my own people have joined them. But they are also completely different. And their relationship to the sea and navigation is unique. Having the chance to discover their city, their culture, their way of life. It was an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
Bye.
See?
Yes? See you later.
What is it?
As a smuggler, you are always on the move. What's that like? Isn't it tiring to live without any attachments?
It's not the life I would have chosen if I'd had the choice, you know? I would have liked a quiet life on a plot of land with my family. But the war stole that dream away from me. I was forced to follow the local nobleman into battle, and it was chaos. Nothing but blood and guts and death. Finally, I left all that, left everything behind, it's true. It haunts me every day, no matter how hard I try to survive. But the ties I once had cost me far too dearly. Or let's say they cost too much to the people I loved. Well, at least I'm not alone out here on the road anymore. You're here too, in spite of yourself. What's it like for you?
Like you, I'm just trying to survive. Trying not to think too much about what I've left behind. My island, my family. Even though it's also for them that I want to survive. I'm moving forward, one step at a time.
Sadly, that's just the way the world is. You seem to have understood that. It's hard, often exhausting, but at least you're not alone. You have companions, friends with you, people to support you. Don't forget that.
See you later.
Of course.
Is there anything I...
With everything that happened, we never really had a chance to talk about our bonding ceremony again.
It's true. It feels like 1,000 years ago. But if you don't mind, I'd rather talk about it in our own language. Fragole jasjord, espignek dau lech dam, da gret dau emes olevir. So kontabuye digret chal da vuyet nes diri. Da gontabe di ad hanalidi, agereudi ad gredes, oid venei en maglebem. Da elu de helugedon mil feteni. Onessa godom ant, so kontel. Samel radido nes diern. Ja flint me. Hakaer, sa ned samachtas lod. Sido. Age hamsteram seg, boat hagos en enik nes nodoigi, demas yes. Okoloen me. Kontabe kosag. Ko hontach, kanes henesem nes wiem. Harenduer sa ole des. Mache ol tegedachte he gaon. Sagato. Quod boe voglendidad. Kontabe de sequesa sam.
Komam kam samel ma bode des. E god nes diarnia mevas. E shionau age khe ja lid varma vasam. Aka rod. Samel tier ja snegdet CSNM. A kante buid da vied on kahe betom ole am. Kanes henesem. Ages virto. E nadoig. Ko hagos ja toigt samel da vuleti des. Nase en tam vregu fors me unide sa Amsterdam oleg.
Name kassin, Aridenger. Name kassin.
Sie...
Boy.
I'm listening.
What does being a knot mean to you? I get the impression that when you talk about the knots, you talk about them as if they were your clan, your family.
That's true. I don't know what being part of a clan means to you, but the Knots are my family. Quite literally, to begin with. After all, my family are Knots, but it's more than just our lineage. The sea, the ships, Euxantis, our knowledge of navigation, and even the rules that govern us are all a part of me. Part of my history. I'm proud to be a Knot. I'm proud to ride the waves. Even if I'm not always proud of the things we agree to do on behalf of others. We're not really a people. The many Sea-Given who come from around the world are just as much Knots as I am. The thing that unites us is the belief that we share the sea. The sea is the bond we all share, and Euxantis is our home. I imagine it's an idea that must seem strange to an outsider.
Maybe a little. But your bond with and because of the sea reminds me of the bond we Donegada have with our island. No matter what clan we're from, we all share the same bond with the land of Tirfredi. We're all different and The specific history of our clans makes us unique. Yet we also share a great deal of knowledge. Traditions that are handed down from generation to generation. And our land binds us together, creating a mutual understanding that's deeper than words. And a sense of belonging.
That's it. That's exactly it. I'm so happy you understand. There are so many people who only see us as merchants on ships. But I think we're much more than that.
I won't bother you.
Don't worry.
Alvida left for the port at dawn. She was excited to see a ship at last. Are we going to meet her?
Ah, my daughter's strange companions. I suppose I owe you an apology. If I hadn't been involved with that emissary, you wouldn't have had to prove your innocence in this mess. Take time to rest and celebrate the end of this sordid affair. Now,
There you are. I'm happy to see you out of that courtroom and cleared of those ridiculous accusations. Captain Alvida has already returned to her ship and is busy preparing for your journey. When you're ready, just say the word and we'll take you aboard too.
We're ready.
In that case, climb into this boat and it will take you aboard. Godspeed.
Well, what do you think of my ship? It's quite the change from that old skiff. This one even has a cabin.
Yes, it is a fine vessel. But when will you take us back?
As soon as I can pay the crew and stock the old with food for the trip.
My family would certainly be able to finance the journey, especially since it would be an opportunity for them to compete with the Dorsays. They're a rival family who rule over the cities of Serene and New Serene. Come to think of it, they too could finance our trip, I suppose. They certainly have the means.
That would entail going to Peren, wouldn't it? I wouldn't mind going there too. There's someone there I need to see.
Really? Someone from Thélème, I presume?
Yes, a man of the cloth who might be able to help me get home. A certain Father Cardinal Pius.
I've heard of him. A charming old man who lives like a monk, I believe.
Yes, he's a priest and the Thélème ambassador. He can help me get home, but his influence could also be useful in getting your expedition financed.
Yes, I've heard of him. Well, having the backing of influential people is rarely a bad thing. My family is going to be thrilled when they hear about my exploits in Alima.
As for me, I'd like to go back to Iskiara. We left behind a giant, rampaging creature, and I hate to think what might happen to the locals and my companions. We can't just leave this beast to wander around. We have to find out what happened after our timely getaway. And since it's not possible to dock in Dooten, this will bring me as close as possible.
If only we had some support within the Alliance. Kernaz's plans worry me.
I have a friend in Olima who could tell us more about them, but it's risky.
Who are you talking about?
Zarin.
But she's Kernaz's wife. I wouldn't count on her betraying him for us.
I don't think they see eye to eye on everything. She's an intelligent, sensitive woman. And like I said, she's a friend. Getting back to Alima won't be easy. Those men are still out there looking for us. But Kernaz's party doesn't hold the majority. And with the right support...
Exactly. Supporters of the true Alliance could make sure you're forgotten.
That's a lot of destinations to choose from. We'll have to choose just one. So, where are we headed?
Ah, excellent timing. I was just thinking about you. I wanted to ask you something.
What is it?
I ran into my only nephew, Rudolph, a little while ago in Yuxantis. He's become a naught. To be honest, he wasn't too happy to see me. That's putting it mildly. He was very angry with me. But I've just received a message mentioning him. It appears to have been written by a servant who accuses me of being responsible for the disappearance of his mistress, a merchant from the congregation. He says that she was lured to a meeting by my nephew and never came back. In the course of the various threats of torture and accusations he makes, it emerges that my nephew has also disappeared. I'm worried about him. We don't have a good relationship, but it's all my fault, and I wouldn't want anything to happen to him. I could take care of it myself, but I'm afraid I wouldn't be thinking clearly because it involves my family. Would you help me find my nephew and this woman?
Why do you and your nephew have such a strained relationship?
It's a very long story that I prefer not to think about. Look, I'll tell you if we manage to find Rudolph. I promise.
I understand why you're worried. Let's try to find out what happened to your nephew.
How can I help you?
See,
Of course.
I imagine that there are more urgent matters than visiting the man I spoke of. Father Cardinal Pius, who lives in Peren. That said, we need to go and meet him as soon as possible.
I need to inform him of all that we have witnessed. Kernaz's rise in power, his unwarranted attacks against the islanders. He will know what to do to put an end to it, and will be a strong ally against the general. And he is also a close relation of the de Vespe family, who could finance the journey to Tir Freddy. He could certainly help us convince them if the support from Sybil proves insufficient.
You seem to know the man well. Otherwise, why would you want to find him so badly?
Let's just say that he was an ally during my exile. Someone who didn't turn his back on me despite my banishment. He is a powerful and wise man. And after all we have seen, I must admit that I'm at my wit's end. But I know he'll know what to do. How to protect Thélème as well as the people of Tir Freddy from the Alliance.
You consider him something of a mentor, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yes, that is exactly right. Is there anything else you would like to know?
You're saying that your father, Cardinal, wants to put a stop to Kernaz's attacks on my people. But why would he even care?
Thélème is an enemy of the Alliance, as you know. And my nation does not find the conquest of your island by these people to be desirable. We have a different approach. It may not be perfect, I will readily admit. But we have no desire to remove your people from your homeland, nor to force them into slavery. Any information that would allow Thélème to put a stop to this conquest would benefit your people, believe me.
Where can we meet this Father Cardinal?
He can be found most often in the Thélème embassy in Peren.
We'll go to Peren soon enough, and we will be sure to meet him then.
If you end up docking in the city, I'll meet you at the embassy.
Of course. The magic that you're using is different from ours. Do you think you could teach me to use it?
I admit that I never thought about it. Of course, there is special training required to wield the rings, but you need to possess the gift of the enlightened. And your faith is so different than our own. But who am I to question what the Divine intends for you? Let's try. We'll see what happens. It's incredible. May the enlightened forgive me. But I would have never thought that a native not of our faith could be so gifted in our magic. Of course, you'll need to continue practicing in order to progress. But you have the gift. This much is true.
Thank you, Fausta. I must leave you.
See you later.
I know you already have a lot to do, but I would still like to ask a favor, if you could spare a moment.
It's not really the moment. We'll see what we can do later.
Of course.
I've seen you use rifles like the people in the Alliance. They are powerful weapons, and I'd like to know how to use them.
You young people are all the same. Always curious and eager to acquire new skills. I'll show you the fundamentals, so you could use them without hurting yourself. Well, what do you think?
It wasn't as hard as it seemed. Thank you, Safia. Bye.
See you.
Yuxantis! Home at last!
man sitting at that table is probably the man who delivered the letter to me.
You? You're here? I suppose you're hoping to silence me. And to think my poor mistress was delighted to make your acquaintance. If only she'd known what a monster you are. You and your whole family of criminals. I will not be intimidated. I will find her, whatever it takes.
I don't understand a single thing you've said. Explain yourself, that's all I'm asking.
Yes, play the fool. I know you're to blame for what happened to her, and I'll prove it. I'll have you hanged.
You're not the first to promise me that. Now stop this childishness and tell us what happened. We can help you find your mistress.
You keep playing your little game, but you won't fool me. We'd only been here a few days when she told me to stay in her room here at the inn because she was going to meet you. She was so happy to have been contacted by your nephew, who had promised a meeting with you at the docks. She could already see herself doing business in Dutton with your help. But she never came back. And when I went looking for her and mentioned your nephew, I was told that he was missing too. So don't tell me you had nothing to do with it.
I never arranged any meeting with your mistress, I can assure you of that. My nephew must have used my name to secure the meeting.
You're nothing but a family of criminals, that's what you are. I've had enough of your lies, but I won't give up. I'll find her.
Perhaps the man in charge of this tavern could tell us something about this woman. Or we could look through her things. If she's like the other Renaigse, she must have written down everything she did.
Welcome to the Fishing Mermaid. What'll it be?
I don't have the key. Ugh, I can't do it.
What does it say?
It's a note asking to meet on the docks near Overseas House. It's signed Rudolph, the nephew of the smuggler Ludwig.
What on earth has got into the lad?
Let's go and have a look on the docks. Maybe we'll find something there.
This is the place mentioned in Rudolph's message.
Let's look around. Maybe we'll be able to learn what happened.
Look, a head covering. It looks a bit like the ones worn by Renaigse merchants, doesn't it?
Someone was hurt. There's blood here. He stepped in it. So we'll be able to track him.
I hope it's not Rudolph's blood. What have you got yourself into, boy?
I see tracks over here. We'll have to be careful. We're not supposed to be here.
The trail of blood leads to this building.
Ugh. We'll have to be careful. We're not supposed to be here.
They're moving the goods to a cave in the backcountry. So as not to get caught, I imagine. I'm fairly sure that the goods they're talking about here aren't crates, but human beings.
This rope was used to tie someone up. Maybe the merchant or your nephew?
I think that's all there is. I doubt we'll find anything more.
Damn it, Rudolph, what have you got yourself into? Everything suggests that he's involved in some kind of kidnapping.
Your nephew is one of my people now. Trust me, I don't like this any more than you do.
So what do you think? Could he be behind all this?
The lad I knew had never set foot on a ship. In fact, he'd never been further than his own property line. I'd like to say he couldn't have done it, but the truth is, I don't know. And now all I want to do is save him from the gallows.
Then let's try to find that cave from the letter.
Let's. The sooner the better.
Looks like your diversion worked. All the notes are gone. Let's see what they found. I knew if I followed you, I'd find something. What were you doing in that warehouse? Is that where you're keeping my mistress?
We're not holding anyone. We followed a trail that led from the docks to this place.
A likely story. It's a good thing I hired these men. We're gonna tear this place apart and find out where you bastards are hiding her. But first, we're gonna search you. You can't leave here with any evidence. Search them.
Let's show them what we're made of!
Stop, please. We had no intention of killing you. We just want to find my mistress.
Why didn't you listen to us then?
You wouldn't let us search you. And I thought you were involved in her disappearance. What choice did I have?
You could have believed us when we told you that we had nothing to do with it, but that we were going to find your mistress and my nephew.
Then what were you doing in that warehouse? Did you find anything there? Do you have any leads? My mistress isn't just anybody, you know. She's not just important to me. She's important to the congregation.
We went to the place where your mistress was supposed to have a meeting. We found a trail that led us here. The clues we found in this warehouse suggest that she's been kidnapped. And we discovered a note that mentioned a cave in the backcountry. We planned to go to see if she is being held there.
Thank you for telling me all that. I'm beginning to feel hopeful again. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I suppose I'll just have to return to the tavern and hope you find her ladyship.
Be quiet. We don't want to be overheard.
Somebody help me! I'm being held captive by these brutes! Let me out of here, you lout!
I think I saw something.
Who you're dealing with! Somebody help me! I'm being held captive by these brutes!
Be quiet. We don't want to be overheard.
There's our merchant. And she's with a young Nod. Why are they caged up?
The lad who's with her is my nephew. Let's get them out of there.
Somebody help me! I'm being held captive by these brutes! Let me out of here, you louts! You don't know who you're dealing with!
I think I saw something move.
They'll get the sea that gave them life.
Somebody help me! I'm being held captive by these brutes!
You're free. Come with us. We'll take you somewhere safe.
Oh, that's such a relief. I thought I'd never get out of that cage. However did you find us?
All we did was follow your trail from the docks where you met. As a matter of fact, your servant was so worried about you that he took it out on us.
Oh, poor Joseph. Oh, don't blame him. He's very protective and fiercely loyal. But it sometimes makes him lose his wits. Thank you very much for your help. But I am quite exhausted and hungry, so I must get back to the tavern straight away.
I suppose you expect me to thank you?
No, that's not really my style. But I do expect an explanation. How did you get caught up in this mess?
I hired those thugs to help me scare the merchant a little. But when they realized that it wasn't about getting a hefty ransom, they decided to take matters into their own hands. They grabbed us both and brought us here. I imagine they were hoping that the congregation would pay for her, but as for me...
Why did you want to intimidate this merchant?
I wanted her to tell me something about my mum. About what had become of her.
None of this makes any sense. Why would she have any information about your mother?
You haven't heard? Our village was attacked. They set fire to it. Grandad, your father was killed in the fight, along with lots of other villagers. All thanks to you, my dear uncle.
No. No, that can't be true.
A few of us managed to escape, like me and Mum. But we got separated in the confusion. I made it to the sea and decided to become a Norse. To get away from everything. From the war and the consequences of your crimes. But Mum, she fled to the congregation. And I was hoping that this merchant would know where she is.
I'm sorry, Rudolph. I'm so very, very sorry. My father, the village. I never meant for any of this to happen.
Maybe not, but it happened. So try and find Mum, will you? I just want to know she's all right.
I'll try. But you know the congregation's a big place and not everyone who lives there knows everyone else.
I realise now that my plan was stupid. I only hoped. Ever since I became a Norse, I've been here on Yuxantis. I'm just sea-given, and I don't really have my sea legs. They never sent me back to the continent, so when I heard about this merchant, I wanted to talk to her.
I can understand that. And I also understand your anger towards me. But don't go getting into trouble like this in the future. Don't end up like me.
I'll be more careful in the future. But try to find out where my mum is. Please.
Now that Rudolph is safe and sound and we've proven that he didn't mistreat that merchant, I think I owe you an explanation.
I'm listening.
You know that I was a soldier once. In the village where I grew up, I was forcibly conscripted by the local lord to take part in the Civil War. It was horrible. We were used as cannon fodder, and the nobles who gave us orders never took any risks themselves. I ended up leaving that life behind and becoming a smuggler. But what you don't know is why I left the army. I killed my commanding officer. The bounty on my head isn't so much for my smuggling activities as for that first offense. Some years ago, not long after that incident, they tried to get me by targeting my brother, Rudolph's father. They threatened to hang him if I didn't surrender. I knew they'd hang us both if I gave myself up, so I let my brother hang.
I'm sorry, Ludwig. I understand your nephew's behavior better now. But why did you kill your officer?
That's a story for another day. Suffice it to say that he had it coming. Anyway, I want to thank you for helping me. It means a great deal to me.
I'm glad you came to see me. I'm going to need your help. It's a personal matter.
What does it entail?
As you may remember, Silvio told me about a cache on the Constantia. Despite everything that's happened to that ship since sinking, it wasn't discovered. I found my mother's logbook in there, but she had so little trust that she wrote in code. And I don't understand any of it. I need to know what information it holds. It may give me some insight into what happened to her. You understand?
Of course. But what do you expect from me?
I need you to find someone who can translate the logbook.
I'm at your service.
Someone in Ixantis can surely help us. One of the admirals, perhaps.
I won't bother you.
Don't worry.
Thank you again for helping me get the child out of trouble. And I hope you're not too worried about traveling with a murderer.
I think you mentioned you were a wanted man.
You can't be a smuggler without ending up on the hit list at some point. My trade annoys a lot of people, and the few attacks my friends and I carried out on convoys annoyed them even more. Put all that together and add in my past, and you'll find me at the top of the list. If you needed money and weren't wanted yourself, you could claim a handsome bounty by turning me in.
We'll talk.
Oh.
How can I help you? Always.
Hello. I didn't know we had a merchant on board.
Not all ships do, but it seems that you have support among the admirals. Would you like to see what I have for sale? I sell a bit of everything.
Admirals can help us. This is the first time I've heard of an encrypted logbook.
Doesn't she have other relatives who might know her code?
She and my father hadn't been getting along very well towards the end. But apart from him, I don't really see who could help us.
Well then, I hope you've been able to recover from this difficult trial. I admit, I feel a bit guilty about what happened to you.
We could use your help, or at least your advice. It's about a logbook.
It's Mum's logbook. I mean, Captain Estrella's. We found it on board the Constanzia, but it's written in code.
Are you sure it's your mother's logbook? She's been gone so long.
I'm absolutely sure. The cache where I found it hadn't been opened. I recognize her handwriting despite the code.
I'm sorry, Alvira. I didn't even know your mother coded her entries. We don't usually do that, as you know. Logbooks are usually made to be shared with other knots.
Do you know anyone who could decipher it?
I can only think of one person in Duxantis who's capable of such a feat. Our master librarian. The wisest of our people.
Thanks for your help.
Please, this story concerns me as much as my daughter. I hope you'll keep me informed if you discover anything. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Thank you for...
Ural?
Hello. You may come in and speak to the librarian, but he's the one who decides who can access our archives.
I can't tell you how happy I am that you've not only proven your innocence, but you also forced that horrible woman to acknowledge her lies.
Wait, are you from Tir Fradi?
Yes, I was born there a long time ago. Then I joined the Naughts, and I'm one of them now. But we never forget our homeland, do we? What can I do for you?
I'd never have guessed you were from our island. You speak the language of the Renoixe without an accent? How did one of our people become a Naut and end up here on Yuxantis?
It's a long story. I come from a small village on the coast, Vignamri.
Ah, the village of the Sisoignames.
Exactly. I would watch these strange ships passing in the distance, as big as the whales whose bones I collected with my family. Sometimes they would stop and send men to our village to buy goods and food from us. They fascinated me. So one day, I asked to join them. I was very young then, and became first a cabin boy, then a deckhand. But I wasn't really cut out for sailing. What fascinated me more than anything was the incredible, intimate knowledge they had amassed of the sea. I'd learned to read and write, and joined this place as a librarian's apprentice. When the previous librarian was too exhausted to continue his work, I took his place. And here I am.
What is the role of a master librarian?
Apart from presiding over trials, I am the guardian of the Naught's knowledge. Perhaps on our island I would have become a Donegad like you. I don't use magic, but like you, I have a duty to archive, preserve, and pass on the Guild's knowledge. I'm also consulted by the island's inhabitants whenever they need to know old customs to settle disputes. I strive to provide wisdom to all those who ask for it.
What can you tell us about the Great Library?
It's a fabulous place. I'm very proud of it. The Naughts have kept all the Portaland charts, logbooks, maps, ship plans, and navigational instruments since the Guild was founded. It's an extraordinary treasure trove containing many secrets. Without them, the Guild would not be what it is today, which explains why only high-ranking Naughts can access them. Some nations would do anything to learn even a fragment of what's inside these walls.
We managed to get our hands on Captain Estrella's logbook.
We found it in a cache on board the Constantia.
Well, that's wonderful news. I despaired of finding this logbook. You know we keep them all here, don't you?
Oh, alas, as it stands, it will be no more useful to you than to me, I fear. It's entirely encoded.
Encoded? That's strange. Captains don't usually do that.
You wouldn't have a way to decipher it. We thought, with your great knowledge...
I know some codes, of course. But without knowing the method chosen by Estrella, it could take me months. However, I may have an idea that would make our job much easier. Wait, I'll just be a minute. That's it. I found what I needed. Alma, Estrella's first mate, whom she trusted more than anyone, survived the shipwreck, but she left Yuxantis. In my archives, I only found a rather vague indication of where she settled, but it's a start. She settled in Alima, in the Port District. If anyone can help you with this code, it's her.
Thank you for your help, Master.
My pleasure, Captain. And if you manage to decipher the logbook, bring it back, will you? For our archives.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. It's always a pleasure.
If you want us to decipher your mother's logbook, we'll have to go to Olima.
Ludwig, or Safia, will surely know where we can find Alma.
Welcome to my domain. Unfortunately, I can't let you visit our archives. Only Naughts of a certain rank are allowed in there. However, I'll be happy to give you any information I can.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
beautiful day.